Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
On Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
On Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg, the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We are live once again after a week hiatus. And no, we didn't get to record the show. Some things came up and stuff and whatever. But we figured we're just going to combine those 2 weeks of conversations that we're going to have until this episode. And we have a whole lot to catch up on, and including back, would you have like 2 weeks of sun-filled action is Katie Dudas is with us in studio.
That makes it sound way more exciting.
You've had so much vitamin D the last 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm probably gonna. It's all downhill from here.
Until you
Back
got covered.
in the city.
Yeah. Until you got covered with dust, and then it's just, there's that.
It's a perfect sunscreen.
It is perfect. I don't know about perfect sunscreen. It's nature's sunscreen, right?
Yes.
When there's Baja cars. Also, wife of the show is with us. Missy's here too.
Hi guys, I'm here.
Hi. You also spent some time in the sun with us
I
this
did
week.
spend time in the sun and all of the clay.
All of the clay. Yes, absolutely. We just came back, of course, from and the interns are here too. Hi, interns. They're waving off camera. I don't know why I did a wave. So I should have turned the camera around for them. Anyways, no, we came back from Baja, SAE, Carolina, near Greenville, South Carolina. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And of course, Katie had a surfing adventure we can talk about. Actually, why don't we start with that?
talking about surfing.
You went surfing. You went to California.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to
And
mess
you-
with my mic.
oh,
It
you're
just keeps
fine.
getting
You're fine.
closer to me.
Tell me about this. This was you talked about going into it,
Oh,
and this last we talked to you on this show about what happened there. How did you end up surfing of all things?
So it was with the First Descents program, and for folks who this particular adventure was for folks who had been touched by some sort of cancer, and I was lucky enough to be picked just a few weeks ago. Big, real quick, fast thing. I ended up in Santa Cruz, California, and with surfing lessons with about 16 other folks who were like me, and we had so much fun. We had roommates in our rooms, and we weren't allowed to go by our real names, and immediately I got my nickname, and it was Godzilla, and Godzilla stuck. So I was Godzilla or Zilla the rest of the trip, which I do not. That was probably one of my favorite
Were
parts.
you also taller than everybody else in the group?
Yes. I was like, yes. And my roommate, she was pretty tall too. Her nickname was Ice Pick. So it was always Ice Pick and Godzilla. And that was fun to go shopping. And she was from Minnesota, and she had the best Minnesota accent ever. So shopping was fun with us yelling across the store, Godzilla, look at this. Ice Pick, look at this. And then, I'm a Yinzer, and she's a Minnesotian. She sounded like Betty White. It was great. But no, it was great. But we had so much fun, and was going out there. Like we talk about, I'm a tall human. I was afraid that I was not going to be able to stand up on a surfboard because, one, I'm tall, and two, I've had several different surgeries in this vicinity of, and you're pushing yourself up, and then you're holding, on your knees, and you got to kind of flip yourself.
And for those who don't know, you're a breast cancer survivor, so there was a lot of that kind of area. So
yeah,
yeah.
I've had several. I've had the bilateral mastectomy. I've had reconstruction. I've had radiation. I've had the whole 9 yards of the breast cancer experience. Sorry, I keep fixing this.
The full.
I did it. If you're gonna do it, do everything.
Yeah. You went all in. Yeah.
And so, there's been years of PT to get me to the point where I'm at, and even to be able to, throw a ball has been a challenge, and things I've had to learn how to do because part of my back is now on my chest. But so I wasn't sure if this was going to work for me. And after days of even just sitting on a surfboard, waiting, take turns with the ocean, the ocean waves, looking around and just being in beautiful Santa Cruz, feeling the water underneath, seeing the animals. We saw whales, we saw otters, we saw sea lions that kind of popped up in the middle of our group, and just taking turns, learning what we're doing. And the last couple days, I ended up on a board. I was up and I was surfing. I had my balance. I went, and first time I did it, I screamed and threw my arms in the air and promptly went down. But I was very excited. And yeah, it was fantastic. And my shirt is from Capitola, which is one of the places where we got to surf. They're the painted houses. This place was called Pizza My Heart, Pizza My Heart. And you bought a shirt and you got a slice of pizza free. Amazing marketing. I can't.
That works.
Yep.
That
so we all
works.
had our shirts, but yeah, definitely an incredible experience. Came away much refreshed, much different headspace, and
Good.
physically thankful for my body and what I was able to do.
Good. That's so is it I know you had concerns kind of going into it, can I even do this? I think a lot of people are like, I don't know if I could physically do that. Does it seem, in your experience, does it seem more accessible generally for people that could be trying it out?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you had to modify and do things a little bit different way, you did. There were plenty of times that I just rode in on my knees and had a blast, an absolute wonderful time. And it was definitely, everybody was at different skill levels. I mean, folks right away up, go. And then some of us, I think I was, one of the last few folks that get going. And, but yeah, it was wonderful. Everybody was so patient. We worked with a great team that owns the surf shop. It's a family owned surf shop, which makes it so much fun. That's all they do is they surf. And so it was definitely, mind, body, soul kind of experience. And I would recommend it to anyone to give it a go.
Did you have any point of this? I've been holding off questions for this moment. Did you have any moment where you felt like you were in a decom? Those don't know, there's like what they call them, Disney comedies or something like that. I just the friends just call them decoms. The '90s Disney Channel movies. You know, there's always the skating movie
With the
and the
montage?
surfing
Did I have
and the
a montage?
Did you feel like you were montage worthy?
I did. I felt like we watch me go down, watch me go down, watch me go down. Wah! Go. But yeah, it did felt like it didn't feel real. Like it
I
definitely.
should have sent you with a GoPro.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now. Oh no! Why didn't we? From now on, we're acclimating. Some of the stuff we're gonna talk about here. We're the idea that Katie should have a GoPro at some of these events that we do for media and everything like that. But now I'm just like, I think she should just have one for most events at this point. So, but
between the weird stuff and the just different way of looking at things.
That's good. That's awesome. So that is the sounds like it was a bucket list item you didn't know you had.
I didn't, and this has been an experience for me. Several experiences along the way where I never came up with a bucket list. I've never in my life ever really had one where I was like, oh, I want to X, Y, and Z at this point or wherever. And then I'm doing these things that are 100% bucket list. I mean, to learn to surf in Santa Cruz, California, where surf was first time it was brought to the mainland of the country. You know what I mean? From Hawaii to, and then for it to catch on, like, this is a huge deal. This is things people dream about.
You're doing it in the homeland of
Yes.
surfing. Well, the relative, the continental homeland. Let's call it that. So.
Absolutely. So yeah, it was an incredible experience. I did not know how badly I wanted to do it until I did it, and then now I just can't wait to just do it again because it was just I felt so good about everything.
What was the group again?
First Descents.
First Ascents?
Descents.
Descents.
Yep. And they are all about bringing adventures, either big trips like this or local. It's something they encourage is for folks who have gone to do these to go back into their own communities and lead adventures. Yep, that's them. So like the adventures, the reason I even saw this existed was someone posted in one of our breast cancer groups that they were hosting something in West Virginia. At just a little gathering, not a little gathering, but like a smaller gathering. And then they offered, I signed up and ended up on one of the big trips.
And partially internally for us, I love that it's all whitewater
Yes.
rafting on the
Yes.
because we have a little bit of an inside joke about whitewater rafting from this weekend. So, this is a different group than you went to because you did a hike in Mount Zion.
Yes.
With one of these kinds of groups, right?
Yes.
But that was like a different.
That was
there's
Project
several of these.
Athena.
Project
Which is
Athena, yeah.
also is a wonderful organization, and I got to over 2 days hike. It was like 50 miles through Mount Zion, and that was a whole training program. This one I was a little more on my own, and you're trusting me. And it was so funny how many of us I talked to.
Here's the program from Santa Cruz,
Oh, look at
actually.
that. It's
There
their
you
oncology
go.
program. Amazing. They do one for MS
Oh.
too, and like they do different ones for caregivers too, which is not something you don't see very often. So because supporting, someone going through something like this is also a huge hard on yourself too. The caregivers just don't get enough credit, and for them to be able to go and share. And I think that was one of the best parts was the end of the night, everybody sharing about their day and us really being very raw about things because it's a different experience. Like going through something like cancer
Oh, absolutely.
is a wild experience.
That's great. It's great for you guys to have that shared experience, get together, have those chat, and do something very, very cool there. So that's awesome. So that's firstdescents.org if you want to go check that out. So that's a really cool spot for that. If you or anybody that's been affected by this, it's a really cool opportunity, and they cover most of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
I
makes
just
it
had to
easier
get myself
for you.
out there.
Yep. Thank you. All those points for the travels we've been
Yes.
doing, right? So,
Thank you, work points.
Yeah, thank you, work points for that, and not just SAE. I know you travel for your other jobs too. So that's awesome. So the other cool thing, speaking of the jobs, we had a really cool opportunity to go down to near Greenville, South Carolina. Thankfully, the hurricanes have missed us. We were worried for a little bit there, so going into it. But we did Baja SAE once again, and Missy was. I think this is your first one where you were hands on with us, right? So with the live stream.
Yes, I have attended as a emotional support Missy. We'll put it that way.
Yes.
A couple of
Well, we
other-
didn't bring you out on the track or anything like that.
I was on the track, but not in the same capacity that you guys were. So I was
Mm-hmm.
in the spectator areas where everybody else gets to stand. This time, I got to post up in our very own production truck.
Mm-hmm.
And by production truck, we mean it was a van.
Yes. So we've been doing. We talked about it. Actually, if you're watching the social media, I was going back in clips since we had a week off, and we were talking a lot about the production around the Formula EV, which but the Michigan Speedway, and some of the things that we ran into and learned from, and things from that era, right? And I see we have somebody that's popping in that we may have to get you guys headphones maybe. So we'll work on that in a second. But in the meantime, so we did get an opportunity to, once again, we're still doing the endurance endurance event for the Baja events. We got to do one back in Arizona at the beginning of May. We didn't ever have an opportunity to do the Maryland one, and just did our media coverage. So this is if you're on video, some of the views that we had from the Carolina Baja. This is at Gray Court, South Carolina, at the Next Level 101 motocross track, I guess it is, right? So you can kind of see some of the shots there. We had volunteer videographers for this, but the biggest change for us, really, and we were watching some of this even last night on the on the hotel TV to see how good it came out, because you can't really tell when you're in the middle of it and you have just a screen in the van, and it's different than watching on like a 40-inch television in a hotel, right? To see kind of how this goes. Again, we're using a lot of that wireless technology. We're trying to string that together across the across a pretty expansive space here. Thankfully, not nearly as big as what we were dealing with at Formula on the Michigan Speedway, but still pretty significant there. So we caught a lot of the action throughout that. But Missy, you mentioned the van that we had going on.
Yes. So we got a U-Haul van, and it was tall enough that I could stand in it, but not tall enough that Sorg or Katie could stand in it. So that was kind of entertaining.
So you got to set up all of the stuff in the van, since you could stand. So you got the idea there. There you are in the van. I brought like a tinier table because I didn't know how much space we were going to have, and they gave us the tall version, so it was kind of nice. See what else? There's close up there. There's an idea where we have the caution: do not exceed 4,000 pounds in the background. But that's and again, it's very similar to our setup we do when we're doing MMA or pro wrestling shows. We got our graphics, we have the live updates. We're tapped into the scoring teams network, so we're getting like the live top 10 as we're going. We had Scott on commentary. We put him underneath this tower. With some of the cars driving by behind him, so for a little bit of color when we're on there. And you see, we had like 4 cams. We had like a wide cam and 3 wireless going on there, and a lot of fun there. So that gives you an idea of what that. I just took a bunch of pictures apparently of this setup. So, but that was, and there's Katie doing things in the distance.
What am I doing? Am I looking for
I don't know.
snacks?
I was trying to close up and see if I could get you. I think you were getting chapstick out at the time.
It was very dry out
or
there.
you were eating your applesauce maybe.
I could have been eating
So, and there's a shot there. This is great because the videos accessing and towing would drive by directly behind them, and it kept getting so loud that like you couldn't hear them for a moment. So I tried to cut to the shot so you could see like how close they were to the cars going by and everything. So, Missy, you switched like probably about half of this thing along with it. Again, this is the culmination. This is a 4-hour endurance event where the cars, I think we had 40 some cars out there to start.
Yeah,
I think was
they
the
said it
number
43 or something like that. I think is the number. And we wound up with how many at the end?
At one time I know we were down to 20 on the track. So
Yeah.
and cars get the cool part of it, and again, all this is on my head from everybody on commentary. The cars can get damaged, can lose tires, can lose supports. Can lose panels or get flipped over and bend something.
Somebody had a seatbelt hanging.
Somebody had a seatbelt hanging out, which is not good. But they got pulled off immediately, it is my understanding.
Yep.
But they get to go back, try to fix the car, and get back out there and potentially place in this thing. So they're like, you're not done. Most other places like Formula, if you stall out, you have something, you go off track, you're done. You're not going back in. Your DNF, do not finish, and that's it. These guys get get another shot at it if they're really good and fast on their feet. I love that, building it as you go. You know, it kind of like I keep attributing things that they're doing to what we do in production. Hey, this thing stopped working and we're live. What do we do? Right? And you build it, fix it, go. And that's kind of a similar mindset to what they're doing with these cars that they've been working on and everything. So it was very cool to do that. And just randomly, just because I came across the picture, here's somebody at the award ceremony with apparently an old VHS camcorder. Sure. We sent that to our friend Reese, who's always using DV tapes and recording with old stuff. And of course, he was the first one to kind of speak up at it. So it was very, very cool, very, very fun. Missy, what is your takeaways from this project?
I think that it was an interesting thing that we've been building to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done a couple of different events with the technology that we've been doing for live streaming, because it's so cool that we had the chat room up.
Mm-hmm.
90% of the chat room we couldn't read because it was in foreign languages.
Oh, Brazil represents a lot in these chat rooms.
Amazing in these chat rooms.
And you know, because they're dropping the flag emoji like
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, that is the biggest thing that we can pinpoint who's from where is we see flags.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, I will throw it into like Google Translate to see what's going on.
Yeah, just to make sure that we're above board on the conversation topic.
Especially afterwards when we get comments on the video. Well, there's that one that ran off the track that we were worried about.
Car 54, where are you?
Yeah. He got knocked out the hill and rolled back on. I'm pretty sure he got a black flag for going off course there.
He absolutely did, because I remember hearing that on the call.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was really cool to kind of see all of that integrate together. Working with the college students, I was a little concerned because these are people who may or may not have video experience. Mike sat down and talked with them at the beginning of everything to give them expectations on what we were looking for. We actually had like 9 students that offered to help out with things, so they signed up for
one
it.
was not a student, by the way. One was very much not a student. One was a local volunteer.
So we had 9 volunteers.
I don't think has been a student for a long time.
We had 9 volunteers. So we split them up amongst 3 cameras and kind of gave them a basic rudimentary, this is how the cameras work. These are the shots we're looking for. Unlike most of our other productions, we did not have a direct line of conversation with them in order to call the shots. So the instruction we gave them at the beginning is pretty much all the instruction they had, unless we were like overtly correcting a shot or something of the sort. But that was not something that we were doing regularly. So that was definitely a learning curve for me, because I'm used to having more direct contact with our cam ops. But
there was definitely a point where I was like thinking, and I was like, I have not checked in with these video operators for an hour, and they're just going. And again, we met with all of them and said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to do shots like this. It's going to be like this. We might not talk too much, that kind of thing. And they, it worked out. It's worked out pretty well with our teams when we bring our own teams and everything like that for formula. And of course, it's a little bit of a different animal here. Sorry, I'm also looking for the picture of the group picture too. Yeah, we've kind of buried it. We've talked to a lot of people in the last couple of days, so there we go. I found it. There you go. But yeah, that's our crew that we had for that. All of them in the green shirts and the yellow. And again, 2 of them were video, they were already working with other things and were there with their teams. So, and others were just, students that, and a lot of times they're like teams that, they don't have a responsibility, or maybe their car didn't make it to endurance. And these are the kids, when you saw all those green shirts pushing the cars out on the track on the video, these are the same ones. So they get to do this. And I love the one was like, can I bring my own camera out? And I was like, you're using this as a method to get out on the track when nobody else can as a photographer, right? He's just like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, as long as you do your job for me, I'm good. So, and that was the other thing too. You saw there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We ended up with 8 because I think one did get pulled off to their car. They did pass inspection and could do the endurance, so he was on hand and wanted to help them out. So, and we knew that, we knew that we might lose 1 or 2 of them to that. But in the end, it was. I want more than one person because I don't want you to sit there for 4 hours in the sun tracking cars back and forth. So we had 2 to 3 for each camera. It worked out really nice. We had 3 cameras out there that were manned, and everybody had a real fun. And I love the girls that I was like, we want this spice. I'm like, I just told you that's probably the most dangerous spot in the entire track, right? Out of like, and nothing was truly terribly. I mean, you're in track. There's going to be a danger, but there was like one like this could be a thing. Keep an eye on it, kind of spot. You know, if something got weird, and they're just like, yeah, we want that. I'm just like, okay, I like this. Like they're like, we want the dangerous spot. You know, we want to be close to everything, and they were very close to everything. You know, safely close to everything too. And there was some good safety barricades. We just had questions the day before before they built them up. So,
And it was also nice because having multiple people, we had kind of built-in spotters for everybody too. So even when they were in a quote-unquote dangerous area, they were still safe under those circumstances because they had another set of eyes watching out for things. And in some circumstances, they even got a better set of eyes because Katie was the one that was helping kind of look out for things and kind of manage some stuff on the track. So it was nice because at the starting line, for instance, there was a little question about where they were going to be starting. Did we have a camera angle on it? So we were able to scope that out, and our people on cameras were able to figure out, okay, I see the starting line over here. And then they were able to go to a different shot and be like, oh, okay, cool. We actually have a shot of the flag. So we got our nice green flag go for the race itself, for the live stream. And then for the finish line, Katie had scoped out the finish line where it was going to be and made sure that our cam ops were in the perfect place to get that checkered flag as they were coming across. And that way we could go with our live stream to catch every single car as they were coming across the finish line. And it was really cool to be able to have our team built to that point that everybody had their own task, everybody knew what they were doing, and it came off relatively flawless in comparison to some of the other events that we've had to do. Sorg, I know you've talked about sometimes having to kind of put things together and kind of figure things out. So it was nice having an extra person there to kind of fill in that gap.
Having the extra person knowledge, and also I think our preparation was on point for this too. Like I had a care package like, here's every battery, and here's some water, and here's this that's at every one of your cameras. You know, we mapped things out. We kind of shifted how we prepare for things and have like what, you know, I was talking about after formula. I'm just like, we need just a full on, everything is up and running stress test for like an hour the day before the event. And you know, hey, if there's a huge problem we find, we have the evening to figure it out, right? I mean, we're not like stretching to do it. And even the most important thing, I had 20 minutes to breathe before the show, you know, and it was like in just itinerary of like, the camera's going to go out here, you guys are going to show up at this time, we're going to switch generators at a certain point before the event, because that was the news wrinkle. They were like, because with it, the formula, they've given us a giant thing. We had power, we had wall power outlets in Arizona because there was a structure there. We had these Honda generators that were Bluetooth, by the way, so we could see what's going on with them with our phones, but they didn't tell you how much gas was left. And they're like, oh, it could be like 6 or 7 hours. I'm like, well, this is a 4-hour race. So we were like, I'm like, bring me a second one in case something happens. Bring me fuel. And they're like, you're going to have a fire extinguisher? Yes, of course. And they brought me one of those, and we filled them all up in the morning, and we swapped them an hour before the event, so we knew we wouldn't have any interruption in power.
Because the day before when we were testing things,
it went down.
It had gone down, and we
don't think it was full yet.
We found out that our battery backup system, because we had so much stuff plugged into it, did not last as long as we had hoped that it would.
No. We have several UPSs on here, and it was like, oh, but we have a lot going through it right now. So,
so
and honestly, we should probably refresh some of those batteries.
The nice thing is it gave us the opportunity to kind of test that structure. And then that's when we determined, no, we'd like to have a second generator just in case. And that's what we did, is when we were testing in the morning, we had the generator going. When we went to get ready for the actual live stream, we plugged into the other generator because we knew that one was going to be fuller and it would be more of a guaranteed workflow with things. So it was nice being able to test that and not be freaking out about it on the day of.
And the most beautiful thing is I could put everything in the van at night the day before, and I don't have to worry about the weather getting to it. So there's all the cases in there and everything too. So you guys don't have headphones right now, but Podner is actually on the line here. in the background.
I have a question for him.
Oh, you have a question for Podner.
Yes.
Let me see if I can get it so you can actually hear him.
That's all right.
at
You can
least
tell me his answer. I just have a
medium.
question. I saw him eating Taco Bell, and that was because we were talking about Baja so much you needed a Baja. There
Need a
you
Baja
go.
Blast. Okay, okay, there he is. I need to get him so we can actually see him, and then I can unmute him. I had a feeling this channel needed to be on record. How you doing, Podner?
Doing good, doing good.
You have any questions about how Baja went? For I know you've been listening in here.
Oh yeah, I mean it sounds great, and I know Baja is always, like you said, it's a little more compact compared to Formula, but you also have the additional issue of dirt
Mm-hmm.
and possible mud. So I can imagine for cameras you have to worry about that, and the camera operators, like you said, being out there for hours and hours, they're just not out there like on concrete. They're out there with whatever's being kicked up. If you have a rainstorm the night before, they don't cancel it.
No,
There's
no.
no rain. There's no rain delay.
No, nothing except for what was it? Lightning is the only
Well,
reason that we
hopefully
would shut
lightning.
thing down,
Hopefully
right?
Lightning.
Yeah.
Hopefully lightning.
Yeah, no, they're pretty. No, we've been shut down several times for it to the point where it's like, oh, hey, we're kind of
We're done.
we're like, well, we're sitting there just like, can we go yet? And we're like, no, it was like, I think you have to go like 15, 30 minutes without a lightning strike in a certain area. So
Oh, yeah.
you're sitting around saying nothing's happening, and they're like, actually, it is on the radar, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So that's been a frustration point, I know, at some of the events for students, like saying like, why are we still shut down? But the protocol is protocol, right?
Yeah.
So-
You don't want to have deep fried students.
Yeah. No. Yes, see.
I would say we had that problem at one of the other events. Is there was a lightning strike, and
Yeah,
we
they
were
were
down for
designed.
like 4 hours.
Yeah. You guys went off the Whataburger while you're waiting
we
for the
did,
rain to
and
pass.
so did all the teams. So
Yeah,
we walk
down
in, there's a
Fort
bunch
Worth,
of
down in Fort Worth, Texas,
Mhm.
right? So, yeah. So, but yeah, no, we it was saying, I don't. We were saying it's like it was like a clay dirt thing. It didn't rain until kind of a little bit of mistering and everything.
it rained when we
but-
were tearing everything down.
Yes.
So
Mm.
Sorg and Katie had gone off to do ceremony stuff, award ceremony stuff, and Scotty and I were left to clean everything up. And we're going through packing everything, and it starts to rain. And it's not a nice little sprinkle rain like it had been throughout the day.
Mhm.
It is a heavier sprinkle rain that turned into more of a rain. That we were packing all of our stuff at the end of the night in the rain. It was great.
By the way, I think this is the cover. Or not that. I think this is the cover art for our show this week. So.
Oh yeah.
Eating a bagel. I'm ready to go.
Eating a bagel and you got your leg up on the.
Like, I wonder if my leg
barricade.
can get up here. It can.
Let me ask you: has any students ever
Katie is
asked-
very limber.
Mhm. I wish I could be that limber.
Yeah.
Have any students ever asked, saying, "Hey, we're thinking about doing a GoPro helmet shot.
Uh-huh.
Is there any way you can use our shot?"
So this has actually been one. We do put a notice out to the students, and we use several times if you can contribute, because a lot of them do have GoPros when they're out there,
Mhm.
and we ask if they want to be part of the highlight reel to submit, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a break in a sec. We'll take care of it. But sorry, I see you figuring things out over there. Yeah. But yeah, no, we asked for that, and we did have our friends from Baja at the FSAElive.net group. I believe that is. I don't know. Katie has the shirt that she wears. I didn't get a shirt. FSAElive.net was that?
Oh, yeah,
was that
yeah.
your thing? But they have some wireless tech, and they did have a live helmet cam during the. If you look at the Formula IC event from May that we did on that channel, it's the SAE University programs if you want to see these live streams that we did. If you look for the Brazilian team and somewhere along there, you do see us cut to that. So, but yeah, and we are like kind of, now that we've done this and we're getting a little more solid with this part of it, we are like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Wouldn't it be, like, to me, hypothetically, I want to add more cameras every year. Like that's how I would like to grow. Depending on logistics and budget and things like that. That's what I would like to do. We have a couple ideas I do not want to say in public now, but that we came up with after this was like, yeah, we need to do that next time. One is giving Katie a GoPro just for funsies.
Yeah.
Okay. So during your event, and you're there as a photographer, but you know, you do some extra media, and we all contribute to the I guess we can call it the social media pool. So they have a lot of content that goes up, and I gotta give a shout out to the SAE team too. They put so much stuff out now on social media during the event week. It never used to be the case. That crew, Brittany, Scott, and everybody else that's involved, I know it's a shifting crew from event to event. They have really, really like, hey, this event is happening and you're going to know about it. And again, it just felt like it happened in a vacuum before. And now that there's the live stream, these are bigger, more seen events, I feel, because of it. And they do a lot of cool, fun stuff. They're getting the teams to collaborate with them on their Instagram, so that pops up in their stuff. So it works out really, really cool. So yeah, so that was
just that one. The main reason I was asking is a couple of the jumps that you see. Those landings would be unique to see from inside.
Yep.
Especially the one that did the front wheelie.
We did. Yes,
that looked like it was getting ready to flip over.
We have some good shots from S&T, the suspension and traction, that we got on. Missy, I know you were watching one of the videos when we were testing them for the pre-roll stream. There was the one where the guy's wiping the lens at the end as my post credits. But yeah, they have all that, especially S&T, where it's a pretty gnarly track usually. So, and some of that is, I know we were getting some commentary about some of the harsh movements that were happening to people as they were hitting obstacles in S&T as you guys were filming it the other day. So I can't wait to see that footage, by the way, when I go to edit here this week, hopefully. But yeah. So no, we get some of that contribution, and I think it's a heavy lift to maybe have a student do it live, but we may be able to get more cameras in interesting ways out there. And plus, we're keeping an eye on all the technologies. Also, I want to say RIP, but for the first time, we know that my GoPro gets hit by cars all the time on the Baja track, right? I always post that immediately to social media when I see it. My GoPro got its first scratch. Yes. And and my understanding is it wasn't from a car.
What?
Right, Katie? I'm told that it was from somebody stepping on it.
Was that what happened?
That's what I'm told happened.
Oh, because there was a whole sequence of events.
To tell people what was happening during this. So,
Oh
we put the GoPro on a little tripod, and we stick it right by the side of the track in the danger zone. Purposefully, hoping it gets hit and gets us a cool shot.
Yeah.
I don't care if anything happens to it as long as we get the shot, right? And nobody got hurt. And that's the whole point. You put it there so you don't get hurt. So what was happening? You gathered a fan base for the camera.
Yes. It was literally right where you guys were. We were a little bit down the hill. Imagine that. And then essentially they had the section where they were giant concrete tubes, and they had them in the dirt. And so teams were...
I think they were like culverts or something.
The culverts.
There's a fancy word for that. And then they would...
Sorry, we're from the country. You're from the country too, but...
The culverts that got disintegrated by the end of the...
Yes.
Anyway, continue.
So the cars would get caught up, like the middle of the cars would get stuck on them because they kind of looked like they just beached themselves, or, any sort of way they were getting stuck and like getting tossed off and left and right. And this is something I said to Scotty as we were looking at the track and we started this. He's like, where do you want to go? I said, do you see where all the green people are in the green shirts? That's going to be the most interesting area because they have most of the volunteers there, which means a lot of stuff is happening in that area to the cars. And by the time we got over there, we were not disappointed. And so the cars were like, and at one point we had the GoPro. So they're getting all over the place. They're on the track, off the track. I did save your camera one time. So it's one time. One time.
And you're talking about the expensive camera.
Yeah,
not
the expensive
GoPro.
camera,
Okay,
not the GoPro.
Yeah, I heard about
So the
this.
GoPro was next to a cone for the longest time. And then they moved the cone away from the GoPro. So GoPro was on his own for a hot second there. And car just shot off over top of it, went underneath the car completely. It was fine. A leg got knocked off. We put the leg back up. It was fine. But there was a point where there was a lot of oohs and ahs, like, and oh, and it was like, I thought it was when the cars were hitting things, and it was not. It was when the GoPro...
Or a traffic jam like we're seeing now on the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the GoPro, it was when the GoPro almost got hit or got hit. and that you could hear them reacting in the truck in front of you or the van because it was so loud. Everybody, and like I ended up shifting the direction of my photos, and Sky did the same thing with video, where the primary shot wasn't the cars themselves, it was the volunteers' faces, it was the crowd's faces, because that was all they were focused on, this one section, because it was just so harsh. And it was so much fun. But yeah, at some point your GoPro definitely got stepped on, ran over, and kicked.
And I love when you said that the crowd would react, because we're sitting in a truck off to the other side of the field where all this is happening, so we can hear the cars, but like not, it's not in our ears. And then all of a sudden we would hear this crowd reaction to something, and it would be like a massive whoa or a massive type of situation. And we're in the production truck going, okay, we've got 4 cameras out here. Which camera is catching whatever whatever they're reacting to? We're going to go to that camera. And then it was like some of the shots we didn't get an opportunity for because we didn't have a camera on that particular location, so I'd have to go to our wide cam.
Like, we're at the tower. Like, here's a shot here with the crowd. Like, it's on the other side of this crowd from us, and we're like, our van was, and that's what's on the other side of that crowd is this situation here, and this is where everything was happening.
Oh, this is, yeah, it was pure carnage. Just every car was getting destroyed.
Wow.
And it's, you can see it now. They're just getting hung up.
And even this is what, when we were talking about that the culverts got destroyed, this is where it is. Where that shows like 2, didn't that go across? Yeah,
let me go to a later shot here, and you can actually see how much they're getting destroyed here. Like that was early in the race, like the first like half an hour. Let me see if I can find a shot of it somewhere else. This is that area. Let's see. But
they had them kind of off.
Yeah, they had them off center, or like off kilter. But there was one point where there was enough broken down in the middle of everything that the cars were just kind of.
They're mostly gone.
The cars were like just driving down the center of it toward the end of the event, just because
you just obliterated everything.
It was, and you can see all of the like, just the crumbles of everything
and the hay bales.
You made a fun comment about that too. With you were watching all of the rocks like come down from where that concrete had just disintegrated, and then hay bales. Apparently, tell us about the hay bales.
Well, they have hay bales along the way to, just kind of. It's not
mostly
slow
protect.
The car.
Yeah,
slow the cars
down.
Guide. And obviously, they got ran over multiple times because it's just like it's like pure carnage of just straw and hay everywhere, and them being hit.
It was so much fun. You can check that out. That's over on SAE's University Programs that are live. The award ceremony is there, and you can see what we did, the 2 formulas and Arizona, and see the difference between the first. I didn't go back and look at the first Arizona since we did this. I'm really curious now, and that might be something I do after the show, is kind of compare how we did as far as things go. Obviously, it was a very different kind of layout for the track in other circumstances, but definitely some things that we're still figuring out, I guess you can say, at that point. And Ian pointed out some other fires because we did have a couple streams going on, but that was really cool. I'm going to go real quick. We're going to go. Chachi has a video game minute for us, and then we're going to get in some more stuff, including I want to talk about a little bit of mini Baja, which could be confusing if you're a longtime Baja fan. Baby, or we call it Baby Baja. We'll find out why after this.
Hey kids, welcome back to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Here's as much video game news that I can cover under a minute. And what could be a sign of trouble after raising the price of the new consoles in the US for a second time. Microsoft has increased the price of their top Game Pass subscription by 50% from $20 to $30 a month. However, in exchange, they will be providing more than 75 first-day releases, including hits Black Ops 7 and Ninja Gaiden 4. So we will see what happens from here. And finally, the UK's Environmental Agency has released a Minecraft-style game aimed at teaching climate change and coastal erosion to the next generation. The game shows them the effect of climate change on England's already eroding coastline and allows them to experiment and see what they can do to prevent it from happening. So, maybe signs of things to come there. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Chachi, for that video game minute. And, of course, I had to show, by the way, we got there at 6:30 a.m., and I didn't think about the fact that it was going to be dark when we got on site. Because I'm like, I just want time, and we got there, and we're just like, there's no lights. Oh, there were lights, but not where we were set up. And it was like, well, do what we can until the light comes up. The sun rises at 7:21. We'll see what we can do. And this is what. And off in the distance, the scoring team had. By the way, this is a lot darker than it actually looks because I used my iPhone. But that's you see the scoring truck in the distance. By the way, I gotta say, that is the scoring team. We've had Mike Zeman on in the past. They have this Spencer put together this sweet truck for them this bus for them to do the whole air stuff. That's a lot of fun. So what's that? Oh, is it too loud in your ears? We're doing, yes. Everybody has some headphones now. Yay! They can hear Ponder. Yay! Anyways, and then I had to take a obligatory picture in the dark of the setup. So that's great. Mini Baja was a thing that happened that week that I want to talk about briefly here. I thought it was cool. So it's supposed to be like I guess a more accessible, cheaper version than what are you doing over there?
I'm trying to not drink into the mic.
Okay.
I'm polite.
I thought you were like trying to show the logos off or something.
That'd be like, meh.
Yes. Well, they gave us all the swag because they know we're going to use it on camera. But so this was a it's exactly what it sounds like. It's Mini Baja. They made mini versions of their cars. And we were at the Clemson University Research Center, and this is relatively what it looked like here. Well, let me give you a better spot here. Oh, there we go. And there's the takeoff. That's the start of it. And running straight into the walls, of course.
The rules are slightly different where you can do that.
Yes, they are slightly different. Also, you can go in and pick it up off if it gets stuck in the track and stuff like that too, right? Like the guy was just given there. And again, same thing. Like it's a 6-minute endurance event. So, if something happens to it, you can actually pick it up and fix it. Unfortunately, it was very dark where we were doing this. Yeah, and it's got a rock crawl, just like you're used to. That one's like lost his top or something. And get out of the way, the car's coming. So, I'm literally sitting on the ground here. Yeah, they tell you not to sit by a Baja track. I'm sitting in this position, and a tire flew off and whizzed past my ear at this position. So it was a little bit sketchy. Look at that big rock that got pushed over towards me at one point too. So this is like the last 2 minutes of the race here. So, but yeah, that one keeps getting stuck in there. But yeah, and once again, so we talked with some of the people that helped with this year at dinner the other night, and they had some really fantastic ideas that I don't know what that's going to look like when they try to do this next year. So that one there's pieces hanging off of that one. Watch this one. I think this is the one where it comes by. You see like the roll cages hanging off the back of it while I was trying to go over that rock. Something. I think that might be the tire that flew by my head. But like the control light is like hanging off of it at this point.
Is it smoking?
Yeah, there was a smoke at some point. We had a pretty bad situation there. So there you go, and it's just dragging the rest of itself. So it was amazing. There must have been like 50 kids that stopped by to this, and this was like during Baja and after there was this, and there was a fantastic women's in motorsports panel that we got to film as well. So just tremendous stuff, a lot of great stuff happening around the Baja. But I love that it's like kind of growing out, right? So, and Katie, you got to see the motorsports panel too, and you bought a book off of it.
I did, yes. It was a I think it's called Ask For It because I sent it to Missy too. Essentially, these women talked about how their careers they were brave enough to pivot into something that they were. I think Alba at one point said, if it doesn't scare you, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're too comfortable. Yeah,
and that's Alba Cologne with Hendrick Motorsports.
Yeah, like
which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, the Hendrick Motorsports, and but to hear her say, like that, you don't want to sit in that comfort, and it's a lot of times, especially being women in some of these spaces, you have to push extra hard and
highly competitive spaces.
Oh gosh, yeah, across.
So, my favorite thing about all of this, I'm just going to interject this here, is that I wasn't at the panel. I didn't see that because I wasn't there for that day. But you were telling me about everything, and I love the fact that I was like, send me that link. and I get the Amazon link, and then it sends a text describing what it is, all caps, ask for it. I'm like, that's kind of that's really abrasive. Like it's alarming. It's shocking, Katie. And she's like, no, that's it did the same thing to me, but I think it also emphasizes like the point of this book. From my aspect of it, again, learning through you secondhand, but that was all. That's that it was yelling at me, ask for it.
Yep.
So.
Very cool. Well, in the meantime, let's ponder, since you did make it in time. You do have an awesome thing here, so let's touch base on you. So we've talked so much about our week, and there's so much. Well, and we're going to let you go for a minute, and then we're going to talk about a cautionary tale that Katie's going to tell us about. Okay. For you guys that go to Airbnbs, and we'll just a little bit of that. But Dave, what do you got for your awesome thing?
Sure. Well, I want to preface this by saying, well, first of all, hopefully the link works. First of all, that I sent you, but I want to preface this by saying Sora AI came out from ChatGPT. It's their 10-second video thing. I actually put a link in the doc where people made SpongeBob making meth with Patrick.
Wait, where's this one?
It's a little further down on the dock. It's the futuristic one, the one for futurism.
Please pull us
under
up
the
so we can see
Rivian
it.
will not use CarPlay.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Yeah, and if you
Breaking
scroll down
SpongeBob.
a little bit, there's the actual video itself.
Oh no! Oh
And
no! Oh no! Yeah, there it goes. That is.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to try it, but you need an invite to try it.
Ooh, I can maybe
So-
assist.
I tried Meta AI. This past weekend was the Mary Lemieux 6.6K race, and they had the finish line photos as they always do, but they always have the watermark because, of course, they want you have to pay. They want to pay the photographers.
Sure.
And I was like, well, so I put it in Meta AI and said, get rid of the white lettering.
Holy crap! It did.
And then it said, well, you have a chance to, and I don't know if the link is on there, for animating it. So I said, make me cross the finish line and give me a medal.
I love it. Yeah,
And
there you go. You're crossing the finish line.
And it is, at least, now, you could tell with me putting the medal over my head, you could tell that's the AI kind of mess up there. But it didn't mess up my face when I was running. The running looks natural.
Yeah, you're good until like the finish line kind of just pops up in the middle of it.
That kind of pops up there. But and the people walking, behind, and like I said,
You see, it
I saw
added a
some-
banner. You see, it added this banner up here too.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, like a finish line banner.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell it to do anything. I just said, have me cross the finish line and get a medal. That's all I put in, and it put all those other details. And people are going crazy with the Sora AI. So now you notice that in Sora, it does have a little watermark on it. But we all know there's programs to get rid of watermarks, especially even in video.
Put it in another AI and get rid of the watermark.
Pretty much, yeah. Or just crop it in. And sometimes you'll see, because I saw someone post Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross in a ladder match.
Yeah,
where they
that's
were
been around.
fighting on the-
Oh, Missy, I think you just sent that to me a little bit ago.
I did send that
didn't
to you a little bit ago because I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday.
And jumping off the ladder into a flaming table.
Yep.
Oh, it's loading. There it is.
Yeah.
I literally was like, man, did they actually do this? No, the table doesn't look right. Oh, man. You would know. There's a referee coming to check on them. And then I saw the Sora pop up. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah,
that's what
But
happened.
that's the thing. But if you miss the Sora, or if they get rid of it,
Or you don't know what
And-
it is. Right? Like
I
maybe.
mean, if you, or let's say it's, and now they're supposedly locking it down for copyright, but there's always ways around it.
Oh yeah.
You don't say Mario. You just say, I want an Italian plumber with a red shirt,
Right. Right.
and it makes Mario. So it's just, it's another thing where you really have to watch out when you see, especially a short video.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these things can do 8 to 10 seconds. So if you see a longer video, unless you can stitch it really good together, it'll pop out more. It's just one of those things of,
Just
hey,
like
3 years ago,
yeah,
AI was, no one heard about AI, really.
right. And it's just like I don't
And now
know.
we're to here.
I don't know, Dave, if this video of a Hello Kitty marathon in Mexico City is real now. After everything you just told me.
Why would that hat?
No, that's
I know what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
it's crazy because like I saw.
Is that a CG? Is that an AI Hello Kitty walking
No.
around? I don't know.
No,
That
the
looks-
one thing the one thing that helps is I got it from the Associated Press.
Oh, there you
Mhm.
go.
There you go.
So I try, you got to look on who posted it,
Mhm.
what kind of background.
Mhm.
We all know people stink at critical thinking, and it's one of those things of you see something, and especially if it agrees with your standpoint, or you agree with what you're seeing, you have to take that. Okay, is it real? We used to have to do that with pictures, and now we're having to do it with video, and they're doing there's audio for the SpongeBob
Mm-hmm.
one,
Mhm.
and they got the audio pretty close.
Mhm.
So it's to the point of you now have to think, not, oh, I see something, so it's true. It's
Mhm.
okay, where's it coming from? Do I trust the source? And are there little details that are tip-offs?
Yeah, like there was
Literally, like, look at the hair and see if there's something weird going on with the hair. Not the
Mhm.
face. They got that down. But, like, the little details in the hair, if it looks a little jumpy. But it's getting tough to do that. You're going to see more and more people, I hate to be mean, older people on social media, because they're the ones who get hit a lot more. But we're going to see younger people, too. It's like, oh, my goodness, do you see this video?
that's where I'm going with this. Is like,
Yeah.
I think it was my mom had shared something about it was a kid playing on the front like patio of their house, and just a kid playing, and there's this like alligator walking across the yard, and the mom
Jeez.
comes out just as the alligator's like getting close to the kid, like
Mhm.
within inches. The mom grabs the kid and like takes him in the house. So it's like the view from the screen door. So the screen door is opening, mom's snagging the kid just as the alligator is starting to like
Mhm.
get close enough to the kid. If anybody has seen an alligator go after its prey, they go fast.
Mhm.
They don't
Mhm.
they don't sneak up like that. Like they go
But
fast.
Not all of us live in Florida and know how alligators behave. So,
Exactly.
to
Or remember there was the video of the bunnies on the trampoline.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
that was
AI.
adorable.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was all AI.
Yeah,
And that
Um,
went around, and for something
to-
like that, you don't necessarily critically think. but
Right.
I hate to say, if you let the easy stuff through, you won't use it when
Mhm.
the hard stuff goes.
So
Yeah.
to that point, I saw this actually in my feed today, and I thought it's appropriate here because I've heard a lot of conversations around this, and we say this, and like we need to start with education, and where does that come from? And actually here in Pennsylvania, there's a information and media literacy toolkit that's supposed to help out with that they've just today they were just announcing with the governor. So and I just did a real quick breadcrumbs on that over here, and so this is actually it's at the pdsas.org. So this is a resource that's available to teachers, and they can dig into it. And just like a quick brief, again, not getting into the details of this or anything like this, but there's things like civic online reasoning, fact checking tools for teens and tweens, free fact checking sites for students and teachers, tools that fight disinformation by the RAND organization. And some of us around here know a bit about them. Misinformation and disinformation, thinking critically about information sources. So understanding spotting false news from Texas A&M. We know our friends are Texas A&M from our SAE stuff. So like, in this is just one section of this. There's a bunch of other things in there. So again, it's like there's a good starting point, and this conversation can start at least at the education level for the kids coming up that hopefully can teach their parents, somewhere along the line. But you got to start was something like that. I'd love to see, and again, I don't watch regular television to see that this happens because, there's the, the paid time, like that like, the don't talk to strangers, McGruff the Crime Dog kind of ads and things like that. I'd love to see, if they're not already happening, those ads and billboards that kind of touch base on that too happen about that. So, but we'll see. I don't know if that's a priority right now for a lot of places, but I'd like to see that, for people that are trying to educate the public on these ongoing issues. I don't know if the billboards can keep up with the issues though. So, and things like that. But either way, Katie.
Yes.
This is like, I don't know if this is here's an awesome cautionary tale
Yes.
/ tip.
Right.
And we were at a Verbo.
Hang on. I'm going to
Yes.
preface this with some quote unquote legalese. Not really. That this can be taken either for the good or the bad. So take what you're about to hear and apply it to your own circumstances. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right, Katie.
Is this a chaotic good situation?
Yes, yes, this is a chaotic good situation.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my TED Talk.
So we had a house. We had on Verbo. We have an Airbnb. This will happen too. But you get a TV, and it's a smart TV, and it's just an open smart TV, and you can log in your stuff and whatever, right?
Yeah, and then sometimes, one of the key things, and we talk about this a lot, is making sure you log out of your accounts. You can do it remotely. You can, if you pull away, you're heading out, and you're like, oh, darn it, I forgot to log out. You can log out from your devices when you've left. So, don't forget to do that step. Do it before you leave, whatever. We made new friends that we went into their Prime Video account because we were looking to see, if we were going to watch Prime, whatever on the TV. And somebody had left their account logged in, and they very serious sci-fi shows, very serious shows. And I thought that they needed to lighten up a little bit, and I started searching for the worst rom-coms that I could find. Like, not, people are like Hallmark, no,
like
no,
sub Hallmark,
no.
Yeah,
like where the stars look like somebody you might know but aren't because they don't pay for it. Like,
If it had a 3-star or higher, it didn't make the list.
absolutely not. Nope. So we did watch two terrible movies, but yeah.
I watched the first one with you.
That was so bad. We're talking like, and everybody was from New York City.
Where was Missy? Missy didn't get to see any of this, did you?
I was working.
You were
I was,
working.
I was upstairs working
Oh,
on
okay.
stuff. So no, I missed the first one, but you guys told me all about it, which I think is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
The retelling is much better than the
absolutely.
actual show.
Absolutely.
It was, because they were in New York City. Look at us, we're in New York City, and then they weren't in New York City. And then we turned into being investigators, figuring out what city they were actually in.
Out that they were in Hamilton, Ontario. And it was like, you see the shots, you're like, this isn't New York City.
This
like the
isn't Central
B-roll
Park.
shows at all. Looks nothing like Central Park. It's far too clean.
And it was a matchmaking. This guy was, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I think he was English. Let's just go with that. And his mother, long line of matchmakers. And at one point, his mother's house was a castle, had an exit sign above the doorway.
It's a bet with the matchmaker.
That's it. Yes.
It's the movie.
And he was learning how he was going to use tech to find people's perfect matches. And you noticed how wonderful the tech was.
This movie came out in 2023, and the first thing I noticed was, why does this guy's MacBook Pro have a CD drive in it? And then I had to look up. They stopped selling them in 2018. They made the last one in 2012. This movie came out in 2023, and had an iPad with a button on it, and she was just looking at code, and that was it.
Did that one also have, like, in the apartment or home setting, an exit, like emergency exit sign above the door?
There's always a shot with an exit sign
No,
in
that
somebody's
was
house.
That was the
other one. Yes,
the
but I was wondering if there was a similar one
it was
to this one.
it was the mother in her castle.
Yeah, she had it in her house,
'Cause
but
she
like
was-
in the second one, the
yes,
apartment
yes.
was the honeymoon
She was
pack.
very European.
Yes, apparently in Europe you have to have an exit sign. Lit exit sign. But so I went through and found some other selections
Add a lot of stuff to his list.
to his lists and some likes.
You
And
found the racy corner of
Oh,
Amazon Prime.
Yep. If you didn't think there was racy stuff on Prime, we found it for you.
You wonder where Skinamax went? We found it.
So our new poor buddy. So yes, the cautionary tale is to log out when you are leaving your Airbnb or Vrbo, or wherever your friend's house, especially. But log out of your friend's house because they'll do much worse to you.
And by contrast, the lady logged into the YouTube has a lot more science fiction and pro wrestling stuff in their algorithm than they did before too. So
Congratulations.
yeah,
friends.
congratulations for
Yeah.
yes.
And
I'm
pod-
wondering if this very podcast was a recommendation on her YouTube channel.
oh my god, we should have.
We should have just liked all of our shows, subscribed to all of our shows.
Oh my god, they should have.
What were we doing? They're like, wow, there's a common thread. This guy shows up everywhere.
And then eventually they come across this episode where we're talking about them and their accounts, right?
Very meta, like very like.
Yes, it all comes around. I
all-
like it.
Oh.
So very cautionary tale. But we will tell you about the worst 1-star movie on Patreon.
Yep. Good luck. Find love. Goodbye. Goodbye. Find
Goodbye.
love.
Goodbye. Find love.
We will go into that in Patreon.
It was an entire thing the last 2 days coming back.
Yep.
So, on that note, it's time to wrap up here. Dave Ponder, thank you for dropping in here. Oh, that's an IMDb page. There you are.
Always glad to be on. And by the way, can we be shocked that got 5.6 stars out of 10?
Which one?
The one that was just up.
No. Yeah, no, 5.7 out of 10 is what it got. I want to know what it got, what the other movie got. So, we'll find out on... There's a horse in it.
Yes.
That was probably the only redeeming factor.
Very
So
scared
that was
horse.
like, oh, there's a horse, and we were like, there was 2 scenes with the horse, even though it was in a poster. Either way, Katie Dudas is katiedudas.com.
Yep. And now I'm Katie Dudas on Sora.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I currently have a capybara luchadors wrestling in a major pay-per-view event.
Oh, that's amazing.
I had cats having a picnic earlier.
I don't spend enough time in Sora. I really need to spend more in Sora. Either way, Missy is doing Missy things at Psychic Media Services.
That I am.
There you go. I don't know if there's anything else you want to plug right now.
Not at the moment.
No,
I've
no.
got way too much stuff going on right now that I can't even think straight.
Not things that fit with this show. And at Sorgatron on everything, sorgatron.com. See our adventures, and I'm about to post probably in the next 24 hours our a visit to Mayberry in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Were we?
Yes,
Which
yes.
Carolina were we in?
We
It's
were in
very
North
confusing.
Carolina at that point.
They're all very small,
Yeah, that's north.
thin at least when we're going north.
Yes,
So
because we had gotten out of South Carolina where we stayed for the week,
yes,
and we were in North Carolina,
yes.
but not
So-
quite yet to Virginia.
A lot of fun. Go to SAE University programs. A lot of great media from the week on Instagram. Probably some stuff will be on TikTok too. I haven't checked that in a little bit. And of course, a lot of the videos in the podcast that we do for them over on their YouTube page. And we are getting, again, tuned for Patreon. We're going to have a little bit of fun with some of the stuff that we found over the weekend here. So, over the week here, excuse me. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you, interns. Thank you, everybody out there. Thank you, Patreon supporters. That I forgot to thank, but thank you, Cynthia Klosky, Brian Crawford, who's in Tokyo last I knew, John Nagor, and Dave Podner. We did such a weird format, I forgot to stick it in there. But guys, thank you for supporting us on patreon.com/awesomecast. We'll see you guys next time. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.